We dealing with Baldwin and Sampson? Is
Yes,
that what?
Judge.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning. All right, this is cause number 2021-27370 in the witness of Whitley Sampson. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
My name is Ashley Alexandria Sampson, and I am the mother to Whitley Raquel Sampson.
And representing the Attorney General's office.
Yes.
Vita Sharma for the Attorney General.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent of John Dwayne Baldwin II, Mr. Baldwin, was personally served on May 20th, 2021 at 9:48 a.m. at 6102 Standing Oak Street, Houston, Harris County, Texas. And appears he has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Sharma?
Correct, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
So we'll proceed by default.
Yes, Judge. I'd like to call Ms. Ashley Simpson.
All right.
Ms. Simpson, how many children are here before the court?
Just one.
And how old is your child?
She is 2. She will be 3 in January.
And can you state her name again for the court?
Her name is Whitley Raquel Sampson.
And are you currently married?
No, I am not.
Were you married when the child was conceived?
No, ma'am.
And who do you allege is the father of your daughter?
John Dwayne Baldwin II.
And how do you know he's the father?
He was the only person I was with at the time of conception.
And are you asking the court to establish a relationship between Mr. Simpson and the child?
By establishing a relationship, like her going over there to see him, no.
Okay, but are you asking the court to establish a legal relationship between Mr. Baldwin and your daughter?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Thank you.
And your daughter's last name is Sampson.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want her last name to be going forward?
Sampson.
Who makes the day-to-day decisions for your child?
I do.
Who takes your child to her doctor appointments?
I do.
And who gets her ready for school in the morning?
I do.
Who does your child live with?
She lives with me and my brother.
Does Mr. Baldwin contribute with the caregiving of the child?
No.
Because of that, you're asking the court to make you the sole managing conservator of the child, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that Mr. Baldwin have visits with the child?
No, ma'am.
Why do you not want him to see the child?
He has personally threatened me and my mother to kill us. And I have plenty of messages showing so. He has come up to my home trying to fight my brother, trying to fight me. He physically pushed my 13-year-old cousin at the time because she was telling him that he needed to leave me alone. When he was coming to visit my daughter, he would lock himself in a room with my child, wouldn't let me in, would get super crazy and walking around the house, wouldn't leave. When I asked him to leave, would say, I need to call the cops or I need to call some male figure to come remove him because he wasn't going anywhere. It was just things like that that kept happening all the time. And I just couldn't deal with it. And I don't want her to be about that. And he also sells drugs out of his mother's house.
Okay. Have there ever been any charges filed against Mr. Baldwin for any of these allegations?
No, I called the cops. The cops told me that since he wasn't there, he actually ended up leaving by the time they got there, that they couldn't do anything. They weren't able to actually arrest him. So they gave me a piece of paper with a number on it. It's at my mother's home, but just the family violence paperwork or whatever, but no charges were filed.
So Do you believe that for the safety and security of your child, it's in her best interest not to have visits with the father going forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In reference to medical insurance, is your child covered under health insurance now?
Right now, she's on the Texas Health Steps program through Medicaid, I believe. And so that's what we're doing right now.
Okay. When was the last time you spoke to Mr. Baldwin?
6 months ago.
And was that the last time he saw the child as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he contributed financially for your child?
No, ma'am.
Has he paid for any medical bills for your child?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any personal knowledge of where he works?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to set a medical reimbursement based on minimum wage for Mr. Baldwin to pay?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do you want Mr. Baldwin to reimburse medical costs at $56 a month?
That would be fine.
Okay. And you understand this is based on minimum wage because we don't know where he works, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're asking the court to set child support at $190 as well based on minimum wage.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if Mr. Baldwin has any other children?
Yes, I know that he has one other child.
Okay. Are you asking for back support from Mr. Baldwin?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And are you asking the court to order any uncovered health insurance expenses for each parent to be responsible for half of that?
I guess that's fine.
Okay. And if court costs are billed, who should pay?
I think he should.
Okay. And does Mr. Baldwin know where you live currently?
No, ma'am, he is not.
And would him knowing where you live pose any threat to you or your child or harassment?
Yes, ma'am, I do believe so.
So are you asking the court to find your information be kept confidential?
Yes, please.
And did you review this order with the child support officer today?
Yes, I did.
Did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
And do you believe this order is in the best interest of your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to approve this order today?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Judge. I pass this witness.
We have a discussion on how much what the amount of child support would be. I know we talked about the
yes,
medical
Judge.
support. We talked about him having another child. And we talked about, the minimum wage, but did we discuss the amount of child support?
We did, Judge. I said 190 based on the fact that he did have another child based on minimum wage.
Did you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Court will approve the order submitted then. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sampson. You are free to go.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're gonna deal with Thomas and Barron.
Yes, Judge.
Are they in the house? There we go. All right. Good morning. This is cause number 2028-0664. In the interest of Robert Dwayne Thomas Jr., please, all parties and witnesses, raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Please state your name and your relationship to the child.
My name is Christina Ann Barron. I am the mother of Robert Dwayne Thomas Jr.
All right. And representing the state.
Kavita Sharma for the Attorney General, Your Honor.
Okay. The court will note that Robert Dwayne Thomas is the non-custodial parent. He was personally served on March 31st, 2021 at 3:04 p.m. at 925 Dolly Wright Street in Houston, Harris County, Texas. And he has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Ms. Sharma?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
All right, and he was given further notice of this Zoom hearing by certified mail return receipt requested that was delivered on October 8th, 2021. And he has not checked in today, is correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
We'll proceed by default.
Thank you. I would like to call Miss Christina Barron.
All right.
Miss Barron, what is your child's name?
Robert Dwayne Thomas Jr.
And how old is your child?
He's 5.
And are you married currently?
No, ma'am.
Were you married when your child was conceived?
No, ma'am.
And who do you allege is the father of your child?
Robert Dwayne Thomas.
And where is Mr. Thomas today?
I am not sure. I believe he is staying at a rehab facility for addicts.
Okay. And are you asking the court to establish a legal relationship between the child and Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
And the child's last name is currently Thomas. Are you asking the court to keep the last name as Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. As far as the caregiving for your son, who makes all the decisions for your son?
I do.
That includes getting him ready for school and doctor's appointments?
Yes, ma'am.
Does Mr. Thomas contribute at all with the caregiving of your child?
No, ma'am.
And do you believe it's in the best interest of the child to have joint managing conservators?
No.
Can you explain why not?
Because the father has a mental disability. He suffers from schizophrenic and bipolar depression. And he's also been incarcerated due to a case of domestic violence against me. So I don't feel safe that my son be with him or go around him, or he has any decisions to make towards my son.
So because of that, you're asking the court to make you sole managing conservator and no visits for the father, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the last time there was an incident of family violence, man?
Well, actually, I have not been with him since he was incarcerated.
That doesn't answer my question. When was the last time there was an incident of family violence?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. This order says that he has a pattern of family violence within 2 years preceding the date of the filing of the suit. Is that correct, Ms. Sherman?
It does, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have a problem with that?
We do. Ms. Barron,
Yes.
have you had any incidents of threats or violence against you since Mr. Thomas has been released from jail in the last 4 months?
In the last 4 months, no.
Prior to that, in the last 2 years, have there been any incidents?
He has threatened through a text message, but that's about it.
Okay.
All right.
Do you believe that visits with the father is in the best interest of your child?
No, I don't think he should have any visits,
Not even supervised?
not even supervised.
Does your child have medical insurance?
Yes, he has Medicaid.
Okay. Do you know if Mr. Thomas is currently working?
No, I do not. I don't think he is.
Does he have any source of income?
At this moment, no. He was getting SSI disability prior to him being incarcerated. So I think since he's been home, he's trying to get it back. But at this time, no.
And how do you know he's not incarcerated any longer?
His mother. And he called me on Halloween. So I know he's not incarcerated now.
Okay. Because he's not working, you understand that the court will order support based on the minimum wage?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to order Mr. Thomas pay $216 beginning December 1 and monthly thereafter in child support?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to order that Mr. Thomas pay medical support in the amount of $57 beginning December 1 and every month thereafter?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to order that each parent cover half of any uncovered medical expenses?
Yes, that's fine.
And has Mr. Thomas provided any direct financial support to your son?
No.
Has he paid for any clothing or school supplies?
No.
Are you asking the court to order back support for Mr. Thomas to pay?
Yes.
And he was released sometime around the 1st of August of this year?
Yes.
So are you asking the court to order that he pay back support from August 1, 2021 until today?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court set that back support at $864 paid out at $55 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if he has any other children, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, he has another son.
Okay, and how old is that child?
He's in college. I believe he's 19.
Okay. Does Mr. Thomas know where you live?
No, ma'am.
Do you want him to know where you live?
No, ma'am.
So you're asking the court to keep your address confidential from Mr. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
If court costs are billed today, who should be ordered to pay those?
Definitely him, Robert.
And have you reviewed this order with our child support officer today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this order in the best interest of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to approve this order?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. I pass this witness.
Ms. Barron, if he knows where you live, is he likely to cause you or your child harassment, abuse, serious harm, or injury?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court will approve the order as submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?